Hello, I'm Toycat, and when you're starting a brand new survival world, it can be tricky to know what to put in the seed field. Obviously, if you watch this channel, you know you can leave that blank and you'll get a pretty good seed recommended by Minecraft. You know that you can check Seed Sunday and you can find some great seeds on this channel, but what if you don't know that? Well, there's a really handy feature in Minecraft called the Seed Picker, and it's been updated as of the 1.11 Village and Pillage update to have brand new seeds in here. However, the most exciting one to most people is a seed called Epic Jungle. I mean, look at that seed picture and tell me you're not excited to give this seed an exploration. And although this seed is something I think is amazing, I don't think it's a particularly good survival seed. And I wanted to use today's video to explain to you exactly why I think this is a really great seed, but not a really great survival seed. I guess welcome to Seed Sunday. Hello, I'm Toycat. This is your weekly seed series where I show you great seeds, and this is the spawn you'll get if you type in this particular one. So yeah, this seed immediately strikes you as being very jungly, right? Like you could see that before. You can see it especially now when you see the mini map. The thing in my left hand. You can see just how covered in jungle this is. And bear in mind that's only showing this direction right here. It's also covered in jungle all the way to the north and all the way to the northwest as well. It's just jungle on all sides, and although that can be handy because it means that you're going to find a jungle temple not too far from the spawn in both directions to the northwest, about a couple hundred just over that blocks over here. You're going to find yourself a jungle temple, and then to the southeast as well. By following this river, you're going to find about 400, 500 blocks from the spawn that there is a second jungle temple. So 2 jungle temples near the spawn, plus, that amazing image we got to in the seed thumbnail. How can I say this is not a good survival seed? That must be me being really bitter, right? And just saying, oh, well, it's not as good as the Seed Sunday series I run. But no, I think, this is a really great seed for being a spectacle and containing jungle temples. It's just I don't think jungle temples and jungles are great survival features. You don't want to spawn in a jungle this big because it means that it's tricky for you to get outfit, which is a downside by itself. Like, it's not an easy biome to traverse, but then if you want other people to get outfit, because they'll all spawn at your spawn as well, they have to walk through this entire thing because it's not very manageable to chop this entire thing down. It's not even very manageable to try and burn the entire thing. It's just an impractically huge biome you have to walk literally hundreds of blocks to get outside of if you want to get to this roof forest, which is the nearest biome, or if you want to get to the key, the focal point of this seed, which is of course the Mesa. So looking at the map, you can see we're in for a little treat here because we have a very rare clash of 2 very individually rare biomes. We've got the jungle biome on the left here, and we've got the Mesa biome on the right here. In fact, it's even a Mesa Bryce biome to make things rarer. You can see just what a stunning mashup this is because you never see stuff like this in Minecraft. This is a very rare peek at, again, such a bizarre combination of 2 biomes. It's such a bizarre thing, in fact, that there are melons inside the Mesa. There are vines growing on the Mesa Bryce. It's a very, very, very unique thing, and it's a stunner that you might want to see in Minecraft sometime. If you're playing creative, this is a great place to, to have something just to show off that, amazing part of the world. But if it's so great for creative, if it's so great for building, why is this not so great for survival? Why is this not the perfect place to settle down in survival? Because right here, you can just imagine what a perfect view you get off that jungle, off the Mesa plateaus, and if you just climb over the mountain, you've got a huge thing just over there. But the reason this isn't a very good survival settlement is because it's a Mesa biome with a jungle next to it. This means you don't have access to a huge flat land. You have to flatten your own area, which isn't too hard because there's a little bit of flat ground here. But then also, if you want to go anywhere, you have to travel across this bizarre terrain. It's not easy to traverse a Mesa biome on foot. It's not easy to traverse a Mesa biome on a horse. It's not easy to traverse one of these biomes even with a minecart. Like, building that's really tricky. It's not till you get the Elytra that traveling around a Mesa gets just as easy as any other biome, and the exact same is true for the jungle. And when you're surrounded on both sides by hundreds of blocks of both those things, you can imagine that's a little impractical. And you're going to have to travel hundreds of blocks, by the way, because if you want a village, this is the Village and Pillage update, how far do we have to travel for that? Oh, we have to travel to 136 minus 728. So that's about 1,000 blocks on the x-axis and about 800 on the z. 1,800 blocks is how far you go to your nearest village. It's amazing view here, but it's not amazing for village location. It's not amazing for mineshaft location either because we have to travel about wait, is there one right here? Like, the game reckons it's at 992.176, but again, it doesn't seem to be here. It wasn't here when I did my search earlier, so I have no idea why the game assumed there was one here. But yeah, the nearest mineshaft is 1,000 blocks away, even if the game will tell you that it's really close by. You can see there's literally no mineshaft anywhere at this coordinates, so you have to travel 1,000 blocks for your nearest mineshaft. For the stronghold, it's a lot further than both of those things. For the nearest pillager outpost, again, another 1.14 feature, 1.11 feature, you can't find those features here, so you need to travel far, and it's not an easy journey across there. However, you know, like for amazing generation like this, or like, again, you can see as we just travel along the boundary between the two, we find really nice, great terrain. Surely this must be worth it, this really great view, because I mean, Mesa biomes also have all that gold, which is a nice survival thing, and also, I mean, look at this little patch of Mesa over here. It's the tiniest Mesa biome in the world that's surrounded by beach for some reason. I don't know why this is the case, but like, look, this is a tiny Mesa biome you can settle down in. Why is that not perfect? And because in survival, these things are nice extras, but they're not what make or break your survival game, because you need to have a good basis in a world to have fun in Minecraft. Like, if you want a challenge seed, this is a challenge seed that has a good view, and maybe that's something you like, but it's not even a particularly challenging challenge. It's just an annoying challenge. It just makes your life a little harder if you want to find a village, because, by the way, can I show you the nearest village? So bear in mind, right now, we're at the very edge of our map on the right here. If we want to find a village, we've got to go all the way back to spawn, and again, if we're doing this in survival, we're crossing this jungle on foot, which is not a fun or easy task to do, but, you know, ignore that. Like, so go, if you want to find the nearest village, you go all the way back to spawn, and then you need to travel a fair few more 100 blocks to the north of that. Again, all the way outside this jungle. At this point, you've traveled through a jungle for about 1,200 blocks, which in survival takes a very long time. We're not all lucky enough to be flying around the world, you know, very early on. So once you've gone through all of that, then you find yourself a desert, and then in this desert, you should find yourself a village, as well as a tower not too far away. So there we go. There's a savannah village. Look how nice that is. That's wonderful. So yeah, that's what I realistically recommend on this seed if you wanted to play in survival. Like, go off, first of all, get your life settled down, get all the things you need from trading, get all the things you need from, you know, like just a survival walkthrough in general. Like, you might want an elytra, all the things that help you make your life a bit easier, and then eventually go back and settle there. Having that jungle mesa thing is amazing, having it near spawn is amazing, but it means that you, practically speaking, can't go near it, because the reason I recommend a plains biome in all of my Seed Sundays, the reason that having one of these, you know, big things, even if it's not a particularly flat one, which is usually recommended, is because, first of all, it's some amount of flat area. It's flat-ish, even right here where it's not particularly flat. Like, it takes, what, like 20 dirt blocks, and you've made yourself a flat ground where you can make a house. People love building on flat ground because it means you can project yourself onto it. So that's, you know, that's something you get in a plains biome. Then, if you want meat, so eating pigs, for instance, you know, like, even though in the real world, you probably shouldn't eat pigs all day, at least that's what my doctor tells me, in Minecraft, you can eat pork literally every meal. It's one of the most nutritious foods you can get early game, in terms of how much hunger it gives you, and that's the reason why going to a plains biome is great. You get all this meat for free, you have a flat place to build, you have, you know, trees to chop down, all the things you need early game are found in one of these. It's not exciting looking, sure, like, you can get some good views around it, but it's not meant to be exciting looking. It's meant to be a great place to settle down and have your start to the world, because also, unlike a forest, unlike a mesa with a giant mountain, you can see all the directions around you. Mobs can't get to you without you seeing them first, and you can light up the area if you want to as well, but like, that's not a thing you can do in a forest, because there might be a mob behind that tree, a skeleton ready to one-hit kill you if you're on low health. You don't know until there either is or isn't. It's Schrodinger's skeleton, you know? Like, my point is that it's entirely, you know, ridiculous to try and settle down inside a forest for your first kind of house. And although you can have some, you know, great solutions, most people by definition don't have extraordinary ideas, you know, like extraordinary. Like, most people have pretty ordinary ideas, and if that's the case, then, you know, there are a few great places. Here, I really like this jungle edge, for example, but they're not going to be found in the edge between a jungle and a mesa. There just isn't the right space there to have a great world, and then once you have settled down there, once you have managed to make that work, then it's just a whole bunch of pain to get to the things you want to play around with, because this update did just come out with the villages, etc. Imagine not being anywhere near a village. It just, you know, it's impractical, right? Imagine not being anywhere near a pillager outpost. That's just kind of impractical, right? Imagine not being able to see a lot of these other, you know, features that are fairly new or that you want to play around with in general, because you're going to see a lot of that here. It's a real shame not to have access to any of that stuff, including desert temples, another great source of loot if you're looking for free stuff. And yeah, basically, today's video is mostly here just to say like, hey, what makes a great seed for looking at is not the same as what makes a great seed for survival. There's a reason why on this channel I usually very clearly say like, this would be great for survival, this would be great for otherwise, and the reason I mostly focused on survival seeds is because that's how most people choose to play Minecraft. If you're playing creative, it doesn't really matter what seed you pick, right? It just matters that like, oh yeah, this is a seed, you know, like, it's gonna have some stuff, I can look around to find it. In creative, you have many more tools at your disposal, and in survival, you have to survive, you know? Fun fact, it's in the name itself, right? And if you're gonna survive, it helps when you have a world that is conducive to that. It helps when you have a world which isn't gonna give you something amazing looking and then punish you for the rest of the game with it. And yeah, that's why I'm recommending this. However, I will say, if you want looks over performance, if you want a creative world, if you just want a good world to build in or look at, or just to check out the 1 or 2 times, then this seed and many other seed picker seeds, which again, I recommend using that as a great tool to guarantee you'll be near a desert village or guarantee you'll be near a woodland mansion, but these seeds can provide a lot of value, and there's so many great things in these that you can find too. So, for instance, some of my favorite finds around here, because this jungle is absurdly sized. It's too big. It's just, it's ridiculous. But inside the jungle, there is this, or just at the edge of the jungle, really, but there's this weird mixture where a jungle meets a roof forest, which makes a birch forest, which means you have an entirely surrounded by forest. So again, roof forest all the way around there, jungle here. It's entirely surrounded by forest, but it is technically a plains biome. So this would be a great place to settle down, you know, besides the concerns about distance, but there is some like fun stuff you could do here, and it's also right next to that amazing view. So you could use that in some way to like, as a secondary base, or even just as a primary thing. There are a lot of goofy things like, oh yeah, it's a part of the roof forest that's raised up above everything else, and because, you know, it's pretty flat around there, you can just see like, oh, it's a mini pedestal with like 2 trees on it. There's a few bizarre things you're going to find here because this is a strange clash of biomes that you don't normally see. It is worth mentioning the Mesa biomes in general, always amazing. If you've never been to one and you really like gold in Minecraft for making rails, etc., the Mesa biome is amazing because if you find a ravine, like you're gonna find just over here, which is, by the way, very close to where some of the best views on this seed are, but like right here, there's a ravine that's going across a, you know, a river here, but it gets cut off, so it's kind of bizarre. But look how much gold you get. In Mesa biomes, you find so much gold because the ratio's been way up for this biome. It's a weird Easter egg, but it's not Easter egg, like, I guess hidden feature, unknown feature, but it's a feature that exists, and even crazier than that, in my opinion, like, oh, it's a ravine cut across 2 sides, and there's a lot of ravines around here, but there's another ravine in here, and not just this one, which again, super deep, but there is a ravine found just over here, which is half inside the Mesa biome and half inside the jungle biome. It's also cut off by a river, but like, oh look, 2 halves of the same ravine, one in the Mesa, one in the jungle. That is super cool. There's so many things about this that are interesting, and obviously the Mesa biome has just received an update. It's a great thing to look around, but it's not a great survival seed, and I wanted to let you know why it is that I care so much about Seed Sunday, why I put so much effort into finding the seeds which are also great for survival, and don't just like say, oh yeah, this would probably be great for that. Like, let's not think about the implications. And that's because I want you to, if you're going to start a brand new world based on Seed Sunday, I want it to have some long-term potential, or at least some long-term interest to it. Something that it's going to allow you to have a good game of Minecraft, because I'm really passionate about playing survival Minecraft. It's something I've done for several years in Minecraft now. It's the thing that's kept me playing and kept me interested. And yeah, I hope that if you find a good seed, it will do the same for you. And yeah, that's why really great seeds sometimes, but not really great survival seeds. So that's the summary for this video. That's the summary for this seed. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Maybe you think an amazing view like this is worth sacrificing everything else, or maybe you don't. Let me know, because I always am curious about your thoughts on all of that. But for now, thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you for watching all the Seed Sundays recently. There's been a lot of support on it on the channel. I've uploaded like 3 in the past week because obviously a big you know, there was a big update this week. I don't know if you heard about it. Something about economics and pillaging, I hear. I don't know for sure. But yeah, if you want to see those Seed Sundays, then check the recent videos. I leave a link in the description of every video to see my most recent ones, so you can see like, oh yeah, that's a thing you might have missed. Or, you know, like the Mega Mesa seed, like the ship in a village seed, or just like the multiple villages near spawn with the stronghold, crossed of the ravine, crossed of the dungeon, crossed of the village. Lots of crazy seeds in the past week, so make sure you check them out if you like Seed Sunday, because this video is going to end now.